Hello, everybody. How's everybody out there doing tonight? I hope everybody is having a great Saturday night. And thank you for being here with me. I'd like to welcome everybody to Saturday Night Live with Survival Preparedness for Beginners. And I hope everybody is doing fine. We're going to give a few minutes here for everybody to jump on. I'm sure everybody should be getting notified right about now. But thank you for all being here. And for everybody that is here, can you please give me a number one so I know that you can hear me and see me? I see there's quite a few people that are coming in right now. We're jumping up in numbers. We have a jam packed show tonight. I got a few things I want to talk about. Um, and there's some very disappointing things that are taking place right now. All right. Thank you for everybody for the number ones. I really do appreciate that. And this way here, I know everybody can hear me. That's very important on this live stream. Um, I would like to welcome everybody that's from Facebook and YouTube for being here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all your support. I do have some exciting news in case you all haven't seen the community tab. I also would like to tell everybody that we have hit a milestone. We hit over 7 million views. That's right, folks. 7 million views. So thank you so much for everything that you do for this channel and everything else. It's been a wild ride since my channel was hacked, and I'm working like crazy to get the numbers and stuff to start coming back, and we're slowly getting there. I was told by YouTube and from some other people that I reached out to that it does take time and just to keep plugging away, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I don't give up. And I have put a lot of safety measures and everything else in place that I didn't even know existed. And so that we are, we're, we're headstrong and we're heading forward. And we've reached that 7 million mark on views. 850 plus videos have been released. So it's been a great ride, and I can't say that I could do it without any of you. You all out there that watch the videos, that share the videos, that like the videos, that always give a thumbs up and comment is so crucial. That it is so important for you to do that. And it helps this channel grow. And the more we grow, the more we get the word out. And that's the key to all this. I'd like to welcome all the members that are here tonight. Um, we do have quite a few people that are in here. I see Pitbull's in here. Nice to see you. Let's see here. If you guys would like, I mean, hey, throw up where you're from, that works for me. I don't mind doing shout outs and everything else. Dana, thank you very much. Coffee Person Speaks here. Jan's here. I do have a request because JT is not going to be on tonight. She did email me. She got some pretty upsetting news and everything else. So I would like to ask that everybody out here that's watching this video right now, make sure that you are saying your prayers and stuff for JT and her family right now. And that's all I'm going to go into. But JT and Jan have been around here for a long time. They are moderators. Coffee First is too, also. Um, and I really do appreciate everything that they do for this channel, that they've done for this channel for years, especially JT and Jan. And but I just would ask that everybody please give their prayers and everything to JT and her family at this point in time. For those of you who know JT and you have a way to reach out, that is totally up to you. She can tell you what is going on, but that is not my position. My position is to ask for your prayers. Rebecca here praying. Yes, thank you very much. Carol, thank you. Rockamas, good to see you. Lefty Lisa, it's also good to see you. You guys are always on here all the time. I did release a members only video today. I hope everybody that are members did catch that video. It was a very good video, had some very good points in it about being prepared and everything else. Kind of goes along with what we're going to be talking tonight about. You get one chance at being prepared. And do a lot of people believe that? Do you think you only get one chance? We'll see. All right. So we're going to be talking about that. Oh, Stephanie Hill in Long Island. Nice to see you. Western New York, unfortunately. Northeast Ohio, Ed. How you doing? Oh, Lori. Hello from Florida. Yep, that's where I'm from. Missy from Kokomo, Indiana. Love this channel. Thank you very much. And I know exactly where Kokomo is. I grew up in Indiana, Indianapolis. I was more south. So I'm the Indianapolis west side down towards Canby, Bloomington, right around IU and those areas. That's where I grew up from. Copy First and Speak is from New York. Pasco County, Florida, Caribbean House. Let's see here. Robin from Kentucky. Dee's Crafts. Nice to see you, Dee's Crafts. It's always good to see you. South Carolina. Michelle, hi from Rhode Island. Carol is from North Carolina. Pam says she loves this channel. Thank you very much. I really hope that everybody is kind of like sharing the videos and trying to get the word out and trying to get people to understand the importance of what we're doing here and why this really needs to be a high priority in a lot of people's lives right now. Another person from Indianapolis. Look at this. I got all the Indy people showing up. This is great. My hometown's coming in. Well, I should say my home state, you know. Let's see here. New York, get me out of here. Laugh out loud, Laureen says. Hello, Jan and Coffee. Kimberly. All right, we're going to give this about one more minute. I do want to let everybody know that we have passed the milestone of 7 million views. We have over 850 videos now. We are slowly starting to gain back some subscribers. It's a slow pace. Right now, the shorts videos have been doing really well. You guys have really been kicking it on the short videos. A lot of people watch those and everything else. And it does turn into more views for the channel and everything. I do have quite a few long content form videos are going to be coming out on top of the weekly short videos that come out at 8 p.m. every single night. So set your alarms because that's when they're going to come out. I have a great video coming out tomorrow. And that one there is really good. I think you all are going to like that. That comes out at 4 p.m. and that is going to be a Prime Video type deal, and I'll be on there. It's going to be really good. I hope everybody can tune in and watch that. I don't do them any earlier because sometimes AP he does his live streams around 2 o'clock or so, and they could run till between 3 and 4. Just depends on how long he goes. And so I always do mine after the fact. And this way here, everybody can jump over and watch the video with me. And I would like to also thank, I've been getting a lot of emails from a lot of different people, and you guys are just awesome. You're bringing some stuff to my attention and everything else that is really helping me out and putting videos and stuff together, because you guys are finding some information that is just quite amazing. And a lot of people are just, I mean, they're just willing to share the stuff, and they send me some pictures. So if you guys really want to get involved with the channel You can send me emails with what you're seeing, what's going on, maybe your local TV news stations or whatever. Any of that. You can send me pictures, what you're seeing. Um, I am working on a video right now because I think there's something going on with Walmart here. I'm not buying into this whole story yet of, they're closing all these different stores and stuff, and they're doing all this all these things, and they're just, they're putting it off to theft and loss of profit. I'm not buying it. I'm reading between the lines. I'm getting a lot of information and everything else. So I'm putting together a video that's going to come out next Sunday. And um, I think you guys are going to find this quite interesting, what I'm going to propose in this video. So you got to tune in to next Sunday for that video there. And I mean, you all are just great. I would highly recommend if anybody would like to join the members club. It's two small tiers. You guys can join in. The member videos are starting to come out once a month. We're going to do a live stream for members only. And we do have a lot of things that are going on. And please make sure, all right, you get a lot of people that come in here for the videos and everything else, but please make sure you hit that like button on your way out. It really helps push my videos on the YouTube algorithm. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to rebuild the channel after being hacked. And that is one easy way that you all can help me out, is hitting the like button. If you want to comment on the video, that's great. That helps also, but just hitting the like button. So please get out there and hit the like button. And this way here, hopefully, we can get back to where we were and everything else. Now, let's get going on this video. Now, what I'm really talking about today is a really kind of a hot topic. And a lot of people have a lot of different ways and views that they really see this whole thing panning out. Now, you get one chance at being prepared. Now, what do I mean by you get one chance of being prepared? You get one chance at being prepared before something actually happens and you no longer can prepare. Right now, obviously, it's going to cost you a lot more money if you're going to want to be prepared. Bob R, thank you very much for that super sticker. I really do appreciate that. That helps this channel out a lot. You people are just great. Um, you guys are just amazing. But getting back to what I'm talking about here, you get that one chance. And if something happens that you don't take the necessary precautions to secure the fundamental things that you need for you and your family in any type of emergency, a disaster situation, a catastrophic event, whatever it may be, if you do not have the proper things put aside and put back in case of something majorly happening, what is that going to do for you and your family? Where does that put you and your family at? Does that put you and your family between a rock and a hard spot? I mean, you get one chance at this, folks. There's so many people out here, and I talked about it in my members only video today. There's so many people that are out here that, they have this total belief that, well, we don't have to, um, there's nothing going on. Nothing's going to really happen. It's nothing but a bunch of BS, or it's the media blowing everything out of proportions and all this kind of stuff. But what happens when that one situation, that one thing happens, and you no longer have that backup? You don't have any of those things that you fall back on, your weekly paycheck, or what happens if you get laid off, and these type of things. The world is so up in turmoil right now with everything that's taken place between Ukraine and Russia, the whole European theater over there. Then you got Asia and everything else. You've got what's going on between China with Taiwan. You got the little moron over there in, North Korea. just constantly turning around and threatening whoever, and um, we've got our own problems here in the United States. Okay, yeah, they did sign, the president today signed the the debt ceiling, and they raised all that and they came to an agreement and all this kind of good stuff. All right. So here's the problem with that. All right. So now they're still saying that they may degrade our financial rating from a triple A down, even though we didn't default, which I think is just nothing more but BS. But that's just my opinion. You all can read into it what you want. All right. Now this puts us through to January 1st of, what is it, 2025. Now there is a lot of things that are going to take place. Now, the feds have said that after this took place, so we can catch up and pay our bills and stuff, they're going to drop, I think it was like they put it as one T note. So $1 trillion in bonds they're going to be dropping and selling off to put money back into the fiscal system so that everything can flow just fine. Here's the problem. The stock market, these analysts and stuff are already warning if they do this, what's going to take place is it's going to put some turmoil into the stock market. And it's already on a rocky road, right? I mean, we all know that. So, what does that do? That could put us on the verge of a major recession without them even raising the interest rate again. All this stuff can kind of happen. Um, you have a lot of big people out there in the financial world that are screaming, hello, warning. Warren Buffett's one of them. I mean, he's one of the biggest people out there and one of the most that people listen to because he's been doing this so damn long. I mean, the guy started, years ago. And we need to give them a little bit of respect in the fact that they can see the writing on the wall. Obviously, they're going to get more information than what we're going to get. And obviously, they're going to know uh, where to put their money, where not to put their money, and this type of stuff. Now, all those people out here that are working class and everything else, and if you have 401ks and all this through your employer and all this kind of stuff, you know, you really need to think about if you have the ability, maybe you should move some of your funds around to more stable, secured type areas, especially if you're getting ready within the next few years to retire. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm just telling you what I do. I'm just, this way here, you kind of play it safe and you don't take such a huge hit if something does happen. Now, I know there's a lot of people out here that say, well, you shouldn't have money in, your 401k. You shouldn't have money in banks. You shouldn't have, all this kind of stuff. Well, all right, let's like flip back to reality here. And this is what we have to be doing. If you're trying to make money with your money, not everybody can afford to go out and buy, 10 ounces of gold. Just ain't going to happen. You may be able to buy a few ounces of silver, but in today's economy and today's inflation and everything else, I mean, people are struggling. So this is where we fall back to. You get one chance at being prepared. You have that one chance to make that decision to try to turn around and do something with your financial situation to ensure that what you do will affect your family and protect your family down the road. Now, let's just say if something catastrophic happens, if major disaster or anything like this, if you people take a little bit of money per week, and I did this, all right, go back and watch the videos. I took $10 a week and I did it for 4 weeks for a whole month and did a whole video. And you should see the food I've got to put away for $40. you know, I mean, we're talking minimal here, $10 a week. So if you could take and you could put a little bit more money into your preparedness, into your preps and everything else. Now, yes, once you start getting out of like your food grade products and you start investing or you're moving into more of your survival type products, yes, they're more expensive. But there's ways around that. You can save your money and you can turn around. And this way, here, you can put things aside and have some type of survival gear or equipment, battery banks, solar chargers, this type of stuff, gas stoves, you know, all these things do cost more money than food. And I do realize that. But when you really sit back and think about it, if you want something bad enough, you will figure out a way to save money to put it aside to buy the products that you're looking at. We, as preppers, we have one chance to get this right. Because here's what happens. Let's just say you start prepping. You've been doing it for, let's say, 2 months, and you're trying to put away some food and everything else. And then you decide, you know what? This isn't working. I mean, nobody's really paying attention to this. This is just a waste of my time and money. And you stop doing it. So let's say you had a couple of weeks of food and stuff put up, and then a catastrophic event happens, whatever it could be. Now, we can speculate on anything, but all of a sudden, there's no power, there's no work, there's no nothing. And you have what you have in your home. You can't get to the bank because you don't have cash on hand because, well, you never finished your prepping. You weren't prepared. And then you go to use your card when you went to the store and you see the sign that says, oh, no cards accepted, cash only. What do? You get one chance to get this right, folks. One chance. It's like you're straddling a fence. You have to make your decision. You have to decide whether if you want to prep and be a prepper or if you want to just get off the fence and go with society and what they do. And you'll be part of the problem when you can't get food for your family. You see, with this one chance that you do get, you have to really sit back and really think about this because you only had this one chance. So, in this one chance of being prepared, you have to start covering all your different bases. So, you want to sit back and you want to sit there and you want to look at some of this stuff and you want to say, hey, all right, I'm going to start with food and first aid first. So you're going to get your food all put up and everything else, your dry goods, your canned meats, your canned veggies, all this kind of great stuff. Get all that done. Then you're going to move over to your first aid because after your food, your first aid is next to really important. All right. Because in a catastrophic event happening, emergency, a disaster, or something like that, we don't know how long it's going to take before the cavalry is going to come running, riding in to take care of us. So if we can be able to take care of ourselves to a certain point, yes, you're not going to be doing heart surgery. I get it, but if you can take care of, your standard cuts and all this kind of stuff, and you don't have to try to go to a hospital, a clinic, or whatever else, because more than likely you're not going to get in. So if you can actually do this type of stuff yourself, and then once your first aid stuff is complete, as you are rotating your stock through your preps and stuff, because that's how you have to kind of do this, unless you have plenty of money and you're buying all freeze dried foods and you don't have to worry about it. But most of us don't have that. So we start off with our canned goods, our dried rice and flour and sugar and all these different types of things. And you stockpile all that kind of stuff. And if you store it correctly, you're going to get a pretty long shelf life out of everything. There's some products that won't last as long. I've done videos on all that kind of stuff. We're not going to go into all that. But then you move from your first aid to your survival type gear. Maybe you want to invest into a tent. Maybe you want to invest into backpacks for you and the family. Maybe you want to invest into good, sturdy shoes or boots or something for the family because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, if a disaster or a catastrophic event happens or whatever, even if you stay in your home and now you have to walk someplace because, well, you can't drive down the roads because they're just covered in debris and everything else. Okay, well, what are you going to do? Walk down through there with flip flops on? I mean, come on, let's get realistic here. You're just asking for a problem on top of the problem you're already dealing with. You follow me? If you follow me, everybody out there, give me a number one if you really agree to what I'm saying. Give me a number one if you agree. And let's see where we're standing right now. I mean, what is the whole thing of this? You know, I mean, we as a community, we as preppers, we have um, a solemn gratitude towards each other in this community. And that is that we have to be ready and prepared. We understand that. Now, for all you people that are coming in and maybe you're not subscribed to the channel or anything else, or you're watching from somewhere else, from Facebook, or maybe you're watching from another website or something, because there are different websites that push all my content. Um, I would highly suggest that you join a channel and subscribe and hit that notification bell because there's a lot of great people in here, and a lot of them are right here in this um, live stream right now. And I've watched a lot of these people help a lot of people out and give people pointers on what they do, how they do it, or where to go to get the information and everything else. I don't know everything. There are certain things that I don't do. Canning's one of them. I've said that a million times. You have to go and try to find the information that you need for canning, so you can can a lot of your own products, especially if you are growing your own products, which is very, very crucial. I mean, right now, I mean, in my backyard, I can't grow anything. It's all sand, but I have four, um, basically they're cloth buckets. And I got the idea from my brother-in-law because he uses these things. And so I've been using them and I've been growing radishes, lettuce, and spinach and carrots. Kind of my little experiment to see how they do growing on my back patio. Now I have them setting so they get morning sun, not the afternoon sun, because the afternoon sun down here in Florida is just brutal. And my lettuce is taking a while for it to get going because the lettuce down here in Florida does not like the extreme heat. So we're going to see how far that goes. But the radishes, I've already had radishes. I mean, they've been delicious. The spinach is growing and the carrots are going hog wild. Haven't had carrots yet because they take longer than radishes. Radishes you can plant and, a few weeks later, there you go. You got radishes. But well, there's a will, there's a way, because I get people that have commented and sent me emails and stuff, and they're like, well, I live in a major city, and I live in a high rise, and I do have a patio, but it's just not enough room. Well, yes, there is. I mean, you can grow tomato plants actually inside your house, out on your little patio there. I mean, there's tons of things that you can do. I mean, there really is, and depends on your climate and everything else. And now they have all these aero gardens and they have all these things that you can put in your house and grow all kinds of stuff. There's where there's a will, there's a way. And it's up to you. You get one chance at this, folks. One chance. And when this one chance is over and gone, I really don't know, what to tell people. Um, I've been putting the warning signs up ever since COVID-19 came to town, and in March of 2020, before March of 2020. And I had a video that morning that came out, and I said, grab your coffee, we have to talk. That's the name of the video. And I said in that video, and that's when it hadn't even, I don't even, if I remember right, I don't think it was at the United States yet, and nothing had come here yet. And I said, I mean, you could see the writing was on the wall. I mean, come on, we don't need the government to sit here and tell us what's going on. Open your eyes, folks, and look. Listen to what is going on around the world. And it was just like, hey, this is coming here. You got to get prepared. You got to do it now. I mean, now. You don't have any time. You had one chance of getting that one right. And look at all the millions of people that didn't. And then they're in there fighting in these stores over products and food and toilet paper, for God's sake. And for what? If you would just, even if you don't want to be labeled as a prepper, okay, I give it. All right. In this day and age, everybody's scared of being labeled. Well, you know, people like me and my generation, we're not scared. I don't really care what people think about me being a prepper and being ready, because I'm doing it for my family. I do it for, now it's me and my wife, but I have enough food and everything else so I could support the rest of my family, hands down. And, when I first started, yeah, my wife thought I was completely gone batshit crazy. But guess what? That all changed when COVID-19 came knocking on the door to this country. And, you can learn by your mistakes. And there was a lot of people that made a lot of mistakes back then, but did they learn? They did put a report out that they said that due to the um, whole COVID-19 coming to town and stuff, more people were more aware and becoming a prepper because of what they went through, which is a good thing. My question is how many of those people are still staying strong at being a prepper? How many of those people are really setting back and thinking about the real struggles that they had gone through and what they had to do to beg, borrow, steal food and whatever else to feed their families? You see, we as human beings have a very short memory span on certain things. All right. Especially in this day and age. You know, I'm a firm believer that if something happened right now, and I pray to God that I am wrong, but if we ever fell back into something like the Great Depression, if something drastically happened, like what happened back in those days to the people of nowadays, the older generation, I think would fare fine. The younger generation, on the other hand, well, I don't think they're going to do so well. They're going to be so heartbroken when they pick up their cell phone and maybe it doesn't work, and what are they going to do when, mom and dad tell them, well, I can't give you any gas money. I ain't got no money. I can't get my money. It's all gone. What do you think is they're going to do when you walk over to them and you serve them some dish they'd never heard of, but it's food? Well, at that point, it's what we call eat it or go hungry. A lot of us that are in here, um, because I know pretty well how the demographics and stuff run in here. I'm pretty sure when you were growing up, you didn't get a choice. It wasn't a smorgasbord, wasn't a buffet when your mother served dinner. It was, this is what's on the table, eat it or go hungry. And you learn to like stuff really quick. And I don't think nowadays that some of these people could really deal with a heartache of probably having to pop open a can of spam and frying it, even though if you fry it up, make yourself some rice, throw in some veggies and everything else, boom, you got a meal. Canned hams, canned roast beef, canned turkey. Okay, yeah, it's all canned, but it's still meat. It's a protein and calories that you have to have an intake of to survive your daily lives on top of water. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people just don't get this, that you get that one chance of being prepared. If there's something that you won't eat, then don't buy it. But put your money into something you're going to eat. Okay, so you don't want to buy spam in a can. Okay, I get it. All right, a lot of people don't like it, but you can still buy turkey. You can buy chicken. You can buy tuna fish. You can buy roast beef. You can buy pulled pork. You can buy all these things, and you're still getting a meat protein and everything else. Why aren't people out there doing it? What is it that has to wake people up? Does it take a natural disaster, a huge catastrophic event that gets people's light bulbs to go on and say, hey, I should have listened, but now it's too late. As we go down this road, I did notice egg prices have started coming down, way down. I mean, they've dropped like a rock. Makes you wonder what's really going on. I did notice that beef prices are going back up a little bit again. Chicken's kind of holding pretty steady in my area. But my Walmart video is going to be coming out next week. I think you guys are going to enjoy that one. I got some information, and it's pretty wild. Makes you want to really think about what these big corporations are doing. They tell us one thing, but they're doing something totally different. And I think it caught on to what they're doing. So we'll shall see. But back to, you have this one chance at being prepared. In closing here, before I jump over here to the good old board here where everybody is commenting, I want people to realize something. I want you really to think about, what would you do if, say, you lost your job, you got sick, the main breadwinner of the family got sick. What would you do in a catastrophic event or a disaster situation? Would you be able, with what you have in your home right now, not what you're going to go buy tomorrow, but what you have in the house right now, would you be able to supply for your family at least 2 meals a day and give them the vitamins and minerals and the protein and the calories that they need to survive? Can you do it? Is it possible? So why are you straddling the fence? Are you so concerned about what Johnny down the street's going to say about you because, oh, they saw you prepping? Who cares what Johnny down the street cares and what he thinks or what he says? Because when push comes to shove, the only one you have to really provide for is your family, and that is your main goal. Correct? So I think everybody out there, you should be stocking up, you should be prepping, you should be getting ready, because we're nowhere out of this. Just because they sign this big deal and everything else, we're not out of the smoke yet here, folks. So don't think that it's all done and it's all over with. It isn't. There's too many variables that are taking place right now throughout this world that we're involved in, whether you like it or you don't. And this can change the whole outlook and basically the way you look at things can change in a heartbeat. And if you're not prepared, you're screwed. So there's two sides of the fence. You can be on the prepared side, you can be on the not prepared side. But be prepared if you're on the not prepared side for some very hard times ahead. If you're on the prepared side, and at least if you're working on it and you're trying to put up whatever you can, every little bit helps. I don't care if 1 week your check is short or whatever else, and all of a sudden you say, hey, this week I can't put anything up. So next week I will. If that's the way you have to do it, that's the way you have to do it. Plain and simple. But at least you're doing it. Right? All right, folks. If you guys have any questions or anything else, take and throw those bad boys over here. And please put all your questions into capital letters. And we're going to start back up here. Robin says, yes, on Social Security, I have stockpiled of food. I am good. Also live in a country, so could build a fire if needed. Perfect. You know how to build a fire. You know how to get it going. If you can build a fire and you have food, you can survive. Because you can always find water source, especially if you're in the country. You can find a river, a creek, a stream. Could be a natural spring or whatever. You can take that water, bring it back. You have your fire, you boil the water, and voila. You have your food, your water, and your heat source. Heat source, cooking source, and everything else. You are doing a great job, Robin. All right. Anyone here ever been called a hoarder? I have, but when COVID came, people kept asking me for stuff. Yeah, isn't that the way it works, Lefty Lisa? Everybody wants to call us all kinds of names and everything else, and they want to say here and they want to, bitch, moan, and groan because they think we're buying up the whole store. When in reality, all we're doing is probably buying, maybe a flat of this or a flat of that or whatever. And who really cares? Because just like you said, when the shit hit the fan, they came asking you for stuff. That's the whole reason, Pitbull says, I am prepared, but my siblings aren't. They could care less. That's a tough one. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make a drink. So you can try to explain to people and your family, especially when it's close family members, it makes it very difficult because you know what they can go through if the shit hits a fan. And, it's just very, very hard. It really is, folks. Where'd this go here? Jan says, when hubby had his heart attack in 2009, I had to quit my job to take care of him. We lived off our preps. When I had my heart attack in 2017, we lived off our preps again. Keep prepping and stocking. There you go, folks. That's coming from one of the moderators right here on this channel. There's your proof in the pudding. It happened to them twice. And if it wasn't for their preps, what would they have done? She had to quit her job in 2009, take care of her husband. And then she had a heart attack in 2017, and they had to live off their preps till they off again. Here you go. Perfect example from one of the moderators. Rakamas, the prices at the store seem to be going up daily around here, getting difficult to set much back. Rakamas, I can totally understand where you are coming from. I hear it from a lot of people. They're having problems just making ends meet because prices are so high. Inflation is so out of control. And yet they still say we're not in a recession. But why are so many people still struggling then? Um, let's see here. Pitbull, yes, that is the common answer for everybody out here. Pitbull hit it on the head. They don't think anything will ever happen. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, but unfortunately, um, they're living in a pipe dream. Because if you look at history at all, history tells us that things are going to happen. The shit's going to hit the fan somewhere down the pike, right? I mean, it's either going to be a catastrophic event, it's going to be a natural disaster, it's going to be a loss of job, it's going to be somebody having a heart attack, like Jan and her husband. It's going to be something. And if you're not prepared, then what are you going to do? You see, folks, I mean, I'm very concerned with the amount of people that are living in these pipe dreams that think that, everything is going to be just fine and everything will be fine. Pam says, I'm spending the money for preps and repairs. There you go. You have to cover your basics here. You know, Bob R says it's already happening. You know, so does Missy. It's already happening. People are just kind of going through the same thing. And Psychos Lady Liberty, proud to be sleeping on my case of beans and spam. It's bumpy, but I sleep well knowing I bought it at a third of the price. Laugh out loud. Exactly. Now, this is the best part. You know, you probably started prepping and everything else years ago, like I did before COVID-19 hit. Now, all these people that are going to start prepping now are trying to prep and put more stuff away. The prices are you know, going way up. Yeah, you can still probably get some canned goods between 8 to 15 cents more, depending on where you shop and this kind of stuff. But the real thing is what happens when, you know, other prices go up even higher and you can't afford it. Pitbull says, when it hits, don't come running to me. God forgive me. Well, I mean, Pitbull, I have to say that, you do what you can do. You talk to people, you tell them what you're not crazy. You're sitting here and you're trying to give them a good example, and you're trying to make people realize that the importance of preparing, even if you just have a 2 week supply of food, which I think you should have no less than three, but let's just go with 2 weeks for shits and giggles. If you have just a 2 week supply of food, this would help you get through more than likely any type of a situation that we're really going to see in the near future. Now, yes, could something drastically happen? Could we have a coronal mass ejection come off the sun and put us in the dark for God knows how? Yes, we could. But let's be realistic here, and we'll give the people, the non believers of the prepping world, the opportunity, and we'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say, you know what? If you have a 2 week supply of food, you're not a prepper. Don't worry about it, but just have a 2 week supply of food and water, maybe. And this way, here, if something happens, you can get through the situation. And if not, then you're right. Don't come knocking on my door. Hey, I picked free asparagus in a ditch on the side of the road. Hey, hey, if it's growing there, go for it. That's great. Jan says, be right back. Dogs are barking. Oh, there's critters out there trying to get to your garden. Lorraine says, I'm in the process of getting my amendments rights. I think it is a must for me. There you go. You know, Robin says, I heard a prepper talking today that the government has sent messages to hospitals and prisons to have a 10-day prep of food. Haven't heard anything about that, but that wouldn't surprise me. And you know what? Back to you, Robin. If the government is saying to have a 10-day prep of food, I double it because I don't trust anything that comes out of the government's mouth. So if you heard a prepper talking today that said the government has sent messages to hospitals and prisons to have a 10-day supply of food, well then folks, guess what? You need a 20-day supply. So you need a 3-week to 4-week supply of food. If this is a true statement, I'm just telling you. All right. They're just trying to cover their rear ends. All right. Let's see here. Danny Lawyer. Hey, Danny Lawyer's in the house. This is one of my buddies from years ago, and he lives right over in here in Florida. And look at that, he's coming in from Facebook. Hey, how you doing, buddy? It's good to see you on here. Thank you for chiming in. Let's see here. Everything gets sorry. Oh boy, yeah, I know. All right, let's see here. Sorry. Everything gets sprayed around here. Too afraid to eat anything from the ditch or my yard. People spray even though I say don't spray. Oh, that's something you have to be very cautious of because you don't know what the heck they're spraying. Um, let's see here. I heard that too about a week ago. I think you're talking about the putting food away for 20 days. I have a year and 20-day supply. There you go. At least a 3 to 4 weeks of food, more like 3 to 4 years of food. I totally get what you're saying, Jan, and everything else, but for a lot of people, it's a big thing. I mean, it's a big commitment. A lot of people are struggling now because, I mean, years ago, I mean, back before the whole COVID thing, I mean, people didn't really have a problem trying to put away some food and stuff because it was relatively cheap. Now, flip it forward a little bit, and what are we into? I mean, we're having all these different problems and everything. So, I mean, if people can get a 3 to 4 week supply of food, I'm good with that. I mean, yeah, it would be nice to have over a year supply or whatever or longer. Um, but if they can at least get that 3 to 4 week supply of food and put it back in supplies, this way, if something does happen, they're covered. And that's what I'm worried about is the short term, in term of the no food, no water, no way to source it or anything else. So at least if they can, they have that put up for that amount of time, it gives them time to ponder out and try to figure out what the problem is and what's going on and what actions they have to take, and they have something to fall back on. That is my whole thing. Daniel Lawyer says, no problem. Hey, it was good seeing you on here, man. Thank you. Coffee first and speak. Exactly, Jan. Yes. I'm not saying that Jan is wrong, but I'm just saying for a lot of people, if they can get that 3 to 4 week supply of food, I feel a lot more comfortable with you having at least something and then work on building from there. 10-day prison thing. Let's see here. My problem is water. A lot of people have problems with the water. And here's the thing, water weighs a lot. Water takes up the most room out of your whole preps and everything else. So if you don't have room to store it outside or some way to store it, um, you have to have some way to source it. So you really want to start looking into making sure that you have some way that you can turn this around and you can start filtering your water. You can start sourcing your water, then filtering it. You can boil it. Filtration systems, there's all different types, models, and makes from different price ranges to fit just about anybody. And you can find a lot of this stuff in my Amazon storefront. Just go right in there. Like I said before, you don't have to buy from me. Just go in there and look and get an idea what you're looking at, and then find the price that is right for you, the product that is right for you, because I don't have them all in there. I just have a few ideas to help get you guys on the right track, and then just go from there and try to find something that fits your needs, fits your family needs, fits your budget, and the whole nine yards. It's right there. I put it all together so you all can go in there and try to figure this out. But water is the number one problem that people will have problems storing, because it just takes up too much room. Yep. Food is tripled in price. Texcala. Yes, I do agree. Oh, look at this. South Florida, DCL. Nice to see you. Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm late. Better late than never, right? And it's good to see you. Thank you for jumping in here. Let's see. Whoa, we just kind of jumped all over the place. Who has space for a year's supply? Well, it depends on what you're putting up. If you do like a lot of freeze dried goods and things of this nature, it doesn't take a lot of room. Unfortunately, yes, that's going to cost you the most money. If you are doing your own canning, that's going to take a lot of room. If you're putting away your own canned goods, if you're buying them at the store, your canned beef and canned chicken, tuna, if you're putting away your canned veggies and all this kind of stuff, yes, that's going to take a lot of room. There are ways you can try to gain more space and everything else. You can use empty closets. You can buy extended bed frames, like I've done videos and stuff on. You can also take and then store them in totes, and they'll fit right underneath these bed frames that I use. They're great. There's several different ways where you can stockpile your food and stuff, all your dry goods and stuff. You can put into buckets. The buckets you can stack. You can stack them as high as the ceiling if you want to. They're not going to collapse in on themselves like what totes and stuff will do. So you have to be very careful. I wouldn't highly suggest stacking the buckets over your head, but if you had to, you could. You can also use the buckets to make a platform to put your bed on. I've seen people do that also. There are plenty of ways. It's having the proper type of storage area and the amount of food to make sure that you can do this. All right. Let's see here. Lorraine says, I buy food when it is on sale. That's why I can stock a little more, because even the scale prices are going up. Yeah, I know the sale prices. It's going to be interesting to see how this year plays out and where we end up towards the end of the year, and see if this actually is going to be another one of these, because usually around the holidays is the perfect time for a prepper to like really stock up, to bang some extra stuff in their stockpile and everything, because there's always these really great deals. We haven't had them in a while, and it's time that we get them. I started right after Katrina prepping. Now I've got 2 years worth of food, 1 year of freeze dried, and 1 year of canned goods. There you go, Frank. You sound like you might have went through Katrina, learned a lesson or two, and now you're putting all this kind of stuff up. Now, the whole key question here, Frank, is as long as you have all these goods, that's great. But are you storing them all in one place? That's bad. Store them at a friend's house, family's house, somewhere away from your own area. So this way here, if something happens to your area, you have stuff at another area that you can hopefully fall back on, unless you're all in the same boat. And then, you know, it's a whole different scenario. Let's see here. We're getting down here almost to our hour. Man, an hour flies by. Both of my grown-up child have wells for water. And that's a beautiful thing, as long as they have some way to run that pump. Because my daughter, son-in-law are in the same position. I'm considering to purchase a water generator. Getting water from the air. Thing is power. I've got solar, and that's a great combination. Stealth profiler. I mean, that's a pretty good idea. Kind of sounds expensive, but hey, some people they choose to spend their money wisely, and if it seems like you've been doing your homework and stuff, just make sure That's what you got to do. Bob R, got to run. Have a great evening. Thank you again for the super sticker. I do appreciate that. Thank you for being a member. And I'll see you next Saturday night, Bob. Survival apprentice beginners. I live on US 1. And down the driveway, we got the river. There you go. As long as you've got that filtration system and boil it up, you should be fine. Let's see here. Scrolling down through, trying to catch up because we're right at our time. All right. Let me get to the bottom. All right. Question: how do we protect our preps from a house fire? Well, first off, is you don't want to store all your preps in one location, and that is a great reason why. Second, if you want to store all your preps and stuff from a house fire, it just depends on what you are storing and how you are storing it. Now, obviously, there are different ways and different things that you can buy to store things in. Question being, do you want to spend that kind of money? Now, that makes me fall back to the number one question is, if you are prepping and if you have means and ways to store your products through different avenues, either you have a family member that's 3, 4, 5 miles away, a friend, your best friend or whatever, and he lives, 15, 20 minutes or 30 minutes from your house, whoever it may be. If you can store some of your products and you start breaking these things up and you put so much here and so much there, if something happens and you have a devastating house fire, because let's just face the fact, you know, unless you have some way to build a solid concrete type room in your home or a vault that is not going to get so hot where the stuff inside is going to melt and go bad to begin with, you're pretty much screwed. I mean, it's just like a hurricane. What happens if a hurricane comes in and blows everything you got away? If you have it diversified throughout your network of either friends, community members, or family and everything else, if you diversify your products out, meaning your food, your first aid, your gear, the whole 9 yards, it can't just be your food. You have to have it all, because if you lose it all in a house fire, what's going to happen? So now you have to sit back and start divvying this stuff up and putting it into different locations and everything else. And you see where people, yes, they do bury things and this kind of stuff. I mean, you can do what you want to, you know. But the thing of it is don't keep all your eggs in one basket, because if something happens and you have a house fire, more than likely all your eggs are going to be ruined. All right, let's see here. We got to wind this down here first. Mary says, if a person has to store some of the food in a garage, what would do best with hot summer and cold winters? Not a lot. Um, the cold winters, you probably could get away with some dried goods. You wouldn't want to put any canned goods, or you don't want to freeze. If it freezes, it's going to expand and you're going to ruin it. In the summertime here in Florida, I would not store any food products in your garage. Period. In the conversation. Put something else out there in the garage, but don't put any of your food or water or anything in your garage, because and unless your garage is climate controlled, which very few are here in the state of Florida, you're talking severe heat. It's going to ruin your food. It can cause bacteria to start to grow. Your cans will start bulging. It'll ruin your canned goods. Um, the whole 9 yards. It's just not a good thing. So I highly recommend that you do not store any of your food products, liquids, or anything in your garage where the temperatures fluctuate so much. It has to be in a controlled environment. Um, where the temperatures try to stay around the same mark. That's why years ago, people that had basements, that's where they stored all their canned goods because, for the most part, it stayed pretty around the same constant temperature year round. That's what food likes, where we store stuff here in Florida, in a spare room, all right, the AC's on. It fluctuates between 72 and 77. Depends on who has control of the thermostat. Now, with that being said, you have to make sure that you have a controlled environment. Unfortunately, I know a lot of people are tempted because they don't have the room in their house. See what you can move out to the out in the garage, put some shelves into a spare room, a closet, or whatever else, and start putting the stuff on there. Put the stuff underneath your bed. Um, there's different ways that you can do this. Yeah, I saw that YouTube announced this morning that they're not going to delete any untruthful election videos. Imagine that. Yeah. Maureen says, has anyone buried or hid a cache? If so, how big and what was in it? A lot of people put in there. I have seen, I know of one person that has hid one, and they put in their food supplies, ammo for their gun, this type of stuff. And the size of container that this person used was probably the size of like a medium sized tote. Um, it was sealed very well. It wasn't really a tote, it was more of a container, but that I'm just trying to give you a size wise how big it was. Um, so they did bury it in the ground. It is marked with GPS, but the person also knows where it is on their property. So the person knows exactly where this thing is. Um, but, I mean, you can put in it whatever you want. Can I store rice in a Homer bucket and lid with a Mylar bag? If so, how high can I stack it? All right. So if you store your rice and stuff in a bucket, all right. So let's just say you get 25 pounds of rice in that bucket, a 5 gallon bucket. All right. Now you're going to put 25 pounds in there. How high do you think you're going to keep lifting at 25 pounds? Because once you go past the second one, the third one's going to go up even higher. It's 25 pounds. Now you're lifting up basically to roughly, I'm 6'1". So you're lifting it up basically to probably right around your mid chest right here. Right. So if you want to go the next one up, now it's going to be way over your head, and that's 25 pounds that you have to lift and get up there. Then when you need it, you have to pull it down. So I wouldn't go any higher unless you have someone there to help you, Tammy. I wouldn't go any higher than 4. That's what I store, and I have them stored in my spare room. They're 3 to 4 high. Just depends on what is in them and how much they weigh. I try to keep the heavy buckets on the bottom, and I put all the lighter buckets on towards the top. So you could do that. You could have a base of all your rice on the bottom, because rice is probably just about the heaviest one you're going to get. Then flour is probably about second, and sugar, and then you got your salt and all that, because you want to have a lot of salt. You want to have a lot of flour and a lot of sugar. You want to have more salt than you have of anything except for rice. You want to have more rice than you have of anything else, my opinion. Salt is second. You want to have more salt than you possibly can shake a stick at, because salt has so many different um, functions that we could do a whole video just on salt, which I believe I did. But I mean, it does everything from cure meat to cleaning wounds. I mean, it's just endless of what that can go on. So I do 3, maybe 4. I try to keep the rice closer to the ground and put your lighter buckets with your other products on the top, so it'll be easier for you to lift and lower. Hide your money in the fridge. It's the last place to burn. Hunter Thompson put his manuscripts in his. Yeah, I mean, that's a great idea. I mean, really think about it. I mean, a fridge or a freezer or something is probably going to hold up just about as best as anything else. Pitbull says, like a root cellar. Yes, exactly. Question: has anyone hid or buried cache? If so, what was in it and how big was it? What was material? I think we already had that one. Botulism is a big thing when storing your food. Yes, it is, Southern Florida DCL. You are totally correct. And you have to be so very careful. I'm telling you, folks. All right, folks, we're going way past our time and we got to get going here. I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank all the members and everything else that were in here tonight. I'd like to thank all of my moderators and everything else. Everybody, please remember to say a prayer for JT and her family at this point in time. If you do have her email address or phone number, you can reach out to her and see what is going on. I also want to make sure that I thank everybody for everything that you've done for this channel. We hit that 7 million view mark. Um, that's a wonderful thing, and I couldn't do it without all of you. All of you out there, you guys are just great. You're wonderful, and everything else. And I really appreciate all the constant emails and everything where people are trying to help get me information, stuff I don't even see because it's coming from your local area. So remember, just email it to me at survivalpreparedness68 at gmail.com. You can send me pictures. You can send me, any info you want to send, any of this kind of stuff, just send it to me. And I don't use your name or anything else unless you tell me you want me to. Everything is kept secret and everything. And I just use your information that you supply me with. Now, remember, tomorrow we do have a video coming out tomorrow afternoon. It's a premiere that it comes out at 4 o'clock. I look forward to seeing a lot of you there. And I think you guys are going to like that video. And then we also have some videos and more shorts and stuff coming out all week long. And until next Saturday night, I want people to remember you get one chance, folks, at being prepared. And you got to make sure that you are doing your part to do it right the first time and get your butts prepared now because we don't know what is going to take place. The world has gone mad and we have to be prepared for us and our families. So till next Saturday night, you all stay safe. You keep prepping and I'll catch you all on the flip side.